Okay. Now we're going to start with our assessments. Yeah, because that has been our custom in this class. Whenever we have an assessment every Friday, on Monday we try to solve the math part or do the topic for today. Unfortunately, some of you don't attempt the assessment. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe you will not appreciate what we are doing in this class until your exam time. And I pray that none of you will get in Jesus' name. Please, in our next class, in our next assessment, which is this Friday, I want anybody that doesn't attempt the assessment will not be allowed in the class for 1 week. Now, I think the first question is on indices. Which is, I think, question number 1. It says 3 raised to power 2 times 3 raised to power 3. That's to simplify. Now, this is very simple. This is a typical post-3 question, either from Unilag, OAU, or Unilag Foundation. Okay? This might be too, this will not take more than 15 seconds. It's just, I need to explain. That's why I'm taking much time. For some of those that don't understand the question. But this is the base. Since we have the same base, we are going to apply the law of indices, which is A raised to power S times A raised to power Y equals to what? A raised to power S plus Y. That's one of the law of indices. If we have the same base, they have different power, you go to have A raised to power S plus Y. If you apply your A here is what? 3. Your S is 2. Your Y is 3. Therefore, you're going to have 3 raised to power what? 2 plus 3, which is 3 raised to power what? 3 raised to power 5. And what is 3 raised to power 5? Who can tell me? 2 raised to power 5 is what? That's 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 9, 3 is 27. 3 times 27 is what? Is 91, 81. 3 times 81 is what? Are we there? 243. 243. Thank you. You don't need calculator for this. Yeah, let me give you 20 seconds to write it down. That is the answer for this question. This should not take you more than a serious-minded post-UME student should not use more than 15 seconds to solve this. I know some of you did not write maths in your JAM, but we have believed that you wrote maths in your O level because mathematics and English is compulsory for you to gain admission into any university in Nigeria, either a private school or a public school. Even in abroad, we need maths and English, a credit pass. Therefore, we have assumed that you have gone to your GS1 to SS3 to have your credit math, and that's why we are asking you questions of this nature. Am I right? Now, the next question is on simultaneous equation, which we were taught last week. Say 4A plus B equals to 9. 2A minus B equals to 1. Now, if you see question of this nature, we have, I think you were taught in your class that we have like 3 methods of solving simultaneous equation. The word simultaneous, that something that will take place, 2 or more events that will take place in an event. That is to say, you are solving for both A and B. That is what we call simultaneous. When you have maybe 2A equals to 4, this is a typical linear equation. Exponential, when you have 2x squared equals to 16. This is an exponential. But for this was a simultaneous equation because you are looking for 2 values at the same time. Am I right? Now, to do this, you are going to use, we have substitution method. We have termination method. We have Gabita method. Yeah, we were taught that in our secondary school. Now, for this, the best method to use is substitution. Because if you look at your B here, the coefficient of B here is what? Is +1. The coefficient of B here is what? Is -1. Do you get it? For A, the coefficient of A here is 4. The coefficient of A here is 2. This one will be complex for you because you have to balance the equation so that both A, the first A and second A, we have the same coefficient so that you can either add or minus. But for this, since the coefficient are the same, is the best first point to terminate. Because when you add +1 plus -1, it's going to be 0. Some of us are confused. +1 minus plus -1 is 0. Wow. Because when you have +1 is the same as 1. Minus times plus times minus is minus. And you're going to have minus 1 minus 1 is what? Is 0. Which means that if you have your plus B minus B, it's going to give you 0. Now, since we are adding, because the same operation that you do with your B, that is the same operation we do with your A. That is the same operation we do with your numbers. Now, let's add this together. 4A plus 2A is 6A. Plus B minus B is what? Is 0. 9 plus 1 is what? Is 10. Therefore, you are going to have what? 6A equals what? It's equal to 10. Therefore, your A would what? 10 over 6, which is what? 5 over 3. Now, what were you asked? Well, asked what? No, I made a mistake. Okay. Okay. 6. Yeah. Your A is going to be what? 5 over 3. Now, if you want to look at B, look for your B. Since you have A to be 5 over 3, you're going to substitute 5 over 3 for A in one of your equations. Therefore, you're going to have 4A bracket 5 over 3 plus B equals to 9. Now, this is what? 4 times 5 is 20. 20 over 3 plus B equals to 9. Now, your B will be what? 9 minus 20 over 3. Now, remember in your fraction, you were taught fraction in our last class. Let's assume this is your what? This is your 3. 1 goes here. 3. This is 27. Minus 1 minus what? 20. You're going to have 7 over what? Over 3. Therefore, your B is what? 7 over 3. Well, I don't think there's answer in this question, except I'm not right to my calculation. Any contradiction? Are you there?
So I have a question.
Okay, I'm with you.
So why didn't you carry 6 to the other side and make it 10 minus 6?
10. You mean here, Abi?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
we have 4A. No, we are adding the equation. When you have 4A plus 2A, you are going to have 6A. Do you get? Plus 6A. It's not 6 plus A. We have 6A plus 0 equals to 9 plus 1, which is 10. Do you get? 6A plus 0 is 6A equals to 10. Now, for you to get your A, you divide 2 by 6. You cannot carry 6 here because it's not plus. It's not A plus 6. It's 6A.
Okay, sir.
You get? But when you have your 6a, when you now divide by 2, you are going to have a equals to what? 10 over 6. 2 in 10 is 5. 2 in 6 is 3. That's why we have our a to be 5 over 3. We will now substitute 5 over 3 for a in any of this equation. I think that is our answer. Unfortunately, the answer is not in the question. That is supposed to be for you. It's in JAM. They will ask you a question. They want to test your intelligence. They want to know if you know what you are doing. Well, my advice is that if you solve any question, especially mathematics, and you can't find the answer, just leave it. It's bonus. But if you pick any answer, they will wrong it for you. Now, the next question is on log reading. Now, the question goes to us, said log 100 is 10 plus log 10 is 10. You were told to simplify. These two should not even take you more than 15 seconds if you really understand how it works. Log 100 base 10 plus log 10 base 10. You should simplify it. Which means that if you want to, you first solve the left part. The left part, that log 100 base 10 is same thing. If you want to convert it to indices, the same thing as 10 raised to our x equals to 100. We're taught in this class how to convert logarithm to indices, which is your base will raise this thing to the power, and the number will be equal to this. Therefore, when you have 10 raised to x equals to what? 10 raised to power 2. Since they are the same base, we are going to have your s equal to 2, which means that your logarithm base 10 is what? Is 2. Some of us that have been solving things like this, you don't need to go through this process. But no, fingers are not equal. When you have log 10 base 10 is 1. Log 100 base 10 is 2. Log 1000 base 10 is 3. Log 10,000 base 10 is 4. Log 100,000 base 10 is 5. Just like when you have log 2 base 2 is 1. Log 4 base 2 is 2. Log 16 base 2 is what? Is 4. Log 8 base 2 is 3. Logarithm of that same number. Because if you look at 8 is same thing as 2 times 2 times 2. Do you get? Therefore, for this, log 10 base 10 is 2. Log 10 base 10 is what? Is 1. So we're going to have 2 plus 1 equals what? 3. So your answer is what? Is 3. That is B. Very simple. I give you 10 seconds to write, because I'm going to be making use of this part. Now, the next question goes same simultaneous. I pray this one leads to the answer in the option. Same thing, 2s plus y equals to 7. S minus y equals to 1. The same thing I told you, same nature of questions. You are very lucky. So if you meet question like this in your exam, you're a lucky fellow, because you don't stress yourself. Since your S and S, the coefficient of S is 2, the coefficient of S is 1. You can still use this, you can solve with this, but it is going to be complex. You have to balance the equation. But here, the coefficient of S, Y here is what? Plus 1. The coefficient of Y here is minus 1, which means that you had. You get? But when you add it together, you're going to have 3s, 2s plus x plus what? 0. This one will go because plus y minus y is same thing as y minus y, which is 0. Which is what? Equals to This is okay. This is 8. The value for this is always. So you have your x to be what? 3x equals to 8. So your x is what? 8/3. Yeah. Any contradiction? Okay, I can see the answer is not here. But let me adjust. Let me adjust the question. Can I adjust the question so I can get a real value? Let me adjust the question. Let's assume this one is -1. Are we there? Are we there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Let me assume this is -1 because the value we are getting for s is not in the answer. Maybe it's a typographical error. Now, if you add this together, you're going to have 3s plus 0. 7 plus -1 is what? Is 6. 7 plus -1 because plus minus is what? It's still minus. You're going to have 7 minus 1, which is 6. So you're going to have what? 3s equal to 6. Your s is called what? Equals to 2. I think that's what they want to write in the question. Now, since you are getting your s, you now substitute. Now, I want you all to substitute 2 for s in the end of the equation and tell me the answer. For y.
Y is equals to 3.
Y is equal to 3. Another person, what's your name? What's name?
Leah.
Another person. What's happening now? This class is not engaging. I think I have more than 12 students. It's only Leah that is talking. Are you telling me you cannot
Sir,
solve?
for me too. S equals y equals 3 for me too.
Please. Can you tell me your name, please?
S star y equals 3.
Star. Okay, thank you. Another contradiction. You get anything outside 3? No, so I will not waste our time. I don't know. Some of you, you're not participating in the class. This participation is very, very important. Because even if we're to be a physical class, we don't have any choice than to participate. So, and that's why we're trying our best to make sure that we engage all our students so that we can be rest assured that you are active. Now, how did they get 3? They substitute 2 for s here, making 2 instead of them to write s, they put 2 minus what? Y equals to -1. Minus y equals to what? If this one comes here, this what? -1 minus 2. This is what? -3. Now, minus y equals to what? -3. For you to get your y, minus to cancel minus, they will not get y equals to what? Equals to 3. I know some of us are still having problem in doing simplification. Minus, plus, minus. Go back to your GS2, if possible. In University of Lagos post-UME, you are going to be having nothing less than, for non-science students, you'll be having 10 questions for mathematics. And 10 questions, 10 marks in post-UME is equivalent to 80 marks in JAM. Do you see? Which means that if somebody gets 280 and somebody that gets 200, if that person that got 280 get 10 marks lesser than the person that got 200, you are going to be on the same stage. 1 mark in post-UME is equivalent to 8 marks in JAM, in UTME. That's why you have to take your post-UME very serious. In Unilag Foundation, you are going to be doing not less than 20 questions for mathematics. And that's why we are prioritizing mathematics and English. If a student, if you are not science, your mathematics will be probably from general paper. Out of 40 questions, you might be doing like maybe 5 or 6. But for UNILAG student and foundation student, you have to take it more serious. Lord will help you. I think we have solved all the questions. Now let's go to today's topic. We'll be talking about measuration. What did I say? Okay. Good. And I think for my syllabus, we're talking about rectangle, triangle, trapezium, square, square, rhombus, and circumference, cone, etc. Rectangle as a triangle, which has 3 sides, trapezium, square, rhombus, circumference, cone, sphere, hemisphere. These are topics we are going to be taking, I think, for the next 1 or 2 weeks, as far as the measuration is concerned. Good. Now, let's start with rectangle. Just for a minor purpose, I'm not supposed to draw this, just like this. From here to here is your what? It's your breadth. Am I right? This is your length. Well, what is the area for triangle is what? Length times breadth. What is the perimeter? Perimeter is what? 2L plus B. Note this, it's very important. Yet, how did they derive 2L plus B? If you have the area is just let's say the surface area. Get now length times breadth. But for the perimeter, since this one is what? This is also what? Length. This is breadth. Now perimeter is the total length of the what? Of the shape. So we are going to have L plus B plus B. L plus B plus B. Now we are going to have 2L plus what? 2B. Now if we factorize, we are going to have 2L plus B. That's why we have our perimeter to be what? 2L plus B. Now, if I give you that, the length of a rectangle is what? Is 3 centimeters. Are you writing it down? Last work. The length of a rectangle is 3 centimeters. The breadth is 2 centimeters. Find the area and the perimeter of the rectangle. Do that in 15 seconds. L is 3 centimeters. Breadth is 2 centimeters. Find the area and the perimeter of the rectangle. What is the
Area
area?
is equals to 6. Perimeter is equals to 10.
Equal to 10. God bless you. Any other contradiction? I don't know why. Our males, our guys, they are not talking. Is it because of the code? I'm not sure it's raining over in your area. The rain is only on the mainland. And part of the mainland is just nearby. The next question I'm going to ask, if I don't hear guys, I will just delete it from the class. It's only the girls that are responding. But they are claiming big guys as far as position is concerned. Now, sometimes they might ask you to find the sum of they ask you to find the sum of the perimeter. Sometimes they might twist your question, they might twist your brain. They will give you the length of a rectangle, they will give you the breadth. They will now ask you to look for the what? The sum of the area and the perimeter. Some people will be shocked. What's the sum of the area and the perimeter? They are asking you to say, okay, look for the area, look for the perimeter, and sum it up. Now, another thing is that we might not be able to discuss, because if we have not treated those other angles, shape, we might not be able to discuss those shape. But let me start with triangle. They might inscribe another triangle in here. And just like your photo album, the photo album we have a triangle. We also have the photo. Yeah. Inside it. This is the width. Question like this is a bit technical. Now they will give you the length of the triangle to be 12. Give you the width. The width is maybe 2. Yeah. You're now told to look for the area of this portion. Now, how can you get the length of this? What we just do is very simple. Since this space is 2, this space will be what? It will be 2. They get. Therefore, if you okay, now you're giving the breadth. You're giving the breadth to be 8. That is for this external rectangle. They get. Now, but you were giving the width of the frame. Now I'm assuming this is a frame. The width of the frame is just 2 centimeters. Now, when you're giving the length of the what of the total frame, you get, which is 12. The breadth is 8. Now you're now told to look for the what? The area of the picture. This assumed to be the picture. This one. This part. Again, this is 12. This is 8. The width is what? Is 2. This is 2. This is 2. This is 2. That is the width of the frame. Now, for you to get the length of this thing, you minus 4 from 12. That will give you what? 8. That's for the length. For the breadth too, you minus 4 from what? This is 2. This is 2. You minus 4 from 8. This will give you 4. What will now be the area of the picture? Oh yeah, quickly. Our time is running out. We have less than 5 minutes more. What is the area? Or some of us does not understand. Are we there? This is a boring classroom.
Please come again.
Okay, let me quickly do it again so that I think it's rough. In a typical frame, I don't know if you have seen a frame before. You see something like this. You will now see the picture inside the frame. I mean, in a rectangular form. This is applied mathematics. This is the picture. Am I right? Yeah? Now, you're not giving that the length of this frame is 12. The breadth is what? Is 8. Now, the width, that is the distance between this picture and the frame, is what? Is 2. 2. The width, that is the distance between Now you're now told to calculate the area of this picture. For you to get you must also get the length of the picture. The length of the picture is what? These 2 plus these 2 minus 12, which is what? 8. Yeah, from here to here is 8. Now to get the breadth of this picture, you also minus 2 plus 2 minus this 8 is what? Is 4. From here to here is 4. Now, since you are getting your length and your breadth, what will be the area of the picture? It's going to be what? 8 times what? Times 4, which is what? 32 centimeters. Do you get it now?
Sir.
All right. I think our time is gone. I would have loved to treat some questions in our past question. Probably in our next class, since I've introduced this topic, because this topic is wide, I'm still going to give you one of the shaded portion of a particular triangle. With time, I will begin to describe other shapes like triangle, like rhombus, like your circumference inside the rectangle. And we'll be told to look for the shaded portion. Again. All right, thank you. Any question before we call it a day? And the guys, I'm not happy. You guys are not talking. No, no weapons. Any question? Ademola, any question? Adeyemo Esther, Akinpelu, Balogun,
No, sir.
Deborah. Are we clear for today's class?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, God bless you all. See you next week, this week, Wednesday. Yeah, God be with you. What do? If you want to see me,